I'll show the green at 5 minutes, the yellow at 6 minutes, and the red at 7 minutes.
All right, over to you, Toastmaster Chetak.
Do you all recognize this? It's the membership application that we all filled out when we joined Toastmasters, or at least we should have. There should be a copy of it in our club's files. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, this is only page 1 of the membership application. The important part is on page 2. The verification of application. This is the part that we sign. Among other things, it says, I agree to the terms of a Toastmasters Promise. What is a Toastmasters Promise? Where do we find that? Well, right next to this verification of applicant, there it is. It's kind of long, but let's take a look at it. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise. You know, we all have lives outside of Toastmasters, even me. Sometimes things come up, weddings, bar mitzvahs, trips to the emergency room, and sadly, sometimes a death in the family. These things can't be helped, but they don't happen that often. The rest of the time, are we making our Toastmasters meetings a priority in our lives? Is it there automatically popping up in our calendar all the time? Prepare all the projects. This is pathways. Prepare the projects to the best of my ability. Sometimes I'm not so conscientious. I do a job that's not as good as it could be, or in fact, should be. But we are promising, each one of us, to follow pathways and do the best we can in our chosen path. And I know I need to get better. I was at a Toastmasters meeting recently, and the woman who is timer mentioned that it was her first time as timer. She's been a Toastmaster for 22 years. Nobody here is like that. Most of us, I think, are pretty good. We sign up for a role, timer, evaluator, whatever, and most of the time we're pretty good about that because this is a good club. Constructive evaluation. One of the beautiful things about Pathways is it teaches us how to evaluate. And also, we're fortunate that not that long ago, we had a guest in our club, kind of a regular guest, virtually a member, Sharon, who gave us a beautiful speech on how to give evaluations with the wow factor. So it's very important that we do our evaluations and do them well. I used to spend 2.5 hours each way to get to the meetings before the pandemic. I would not have done that if this club weren't friendly and positive. So I think that's something we can all be proud of. At our next meeting, we're having an election for officers. Have any of you volunteered to be an officer in the next term? If you'd like to volunteer, the elections committee is Toby, Ilana, Lloyd, and me. You can contact any of us to say what office you'd like to hold. And if you're not sure, you don't know exactly what's involved in a particular office, ask the person who has it now. We're all very happy to help you. And remember, it's important to be here for our next meeting for our election. I have never been to any meeting in any club, and I've been to many, where people are not respectful and courteous. I think this is something all Toastmasters have in common, and that's a good thing. I kind of lied before. I said I have a life outside of Toastmasters. It's really not much of a life. Toastmasters is my life. Almost everybody I know is already a Toastmaster. So it's hard for me to bring guests to meetings. However, I have brought one who became a member in Haifa, so that's something in my favor. But for those of you who actually have lives and actually know people, you know, it would be nice to have more guests at our meetings. We have a great number of guests today, and I'm sure they're all wonderful people. How many of them are going to join? I don't know. Once again, we're talking about pathways. Maybe I don't always prepare as well as I should, but I do try to stick to the guidelines and rules. What about you? And finally, the Toastmasters core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. IRSE. But if we put respect first, then it becomes RISE. And if we all act within Toastmasters core values, we can all rise as a club and as individuals to levels we might never have dreamed possible. That, my friends, is the Toastmasters Promise. Are we all keeping it as well as we should? Madam Toastmaster.